This is a quote from Figueiredo, in his post-fight presser. And I'll just have to say, if there's anything that we have learned about Figueiredo is that, yeah, maybe it was a little persona. Maybe he was trying to sell the fight. Maybe he was selling the narrative. But this man is humble in victory and defeat, man. Like, this dude, he just seems like a good guy, man. He says, in quotes, "Guys, everyone knows who I truly am. I always preach love for the next one. Today was Brandon Moreno's day. Congratulations to him. The belt is only a consequence. I conquered it, and I was very happy by the time I had it, but today, God gave him the belt. I'm very happy for him, and I want to thank God for the opportunity. Thank you, God," right? Shout out to that, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, believe what you believe, all that good stuff, higher powers, praise the sun, all that good stuff, right? But I'll just tell you what, man, Deiveson Figueiredo, this is a dude who lifted up Alex Perez after he beat him, you know what I'm saying? He lifted up Brandon Moreno, and I thought it was, at first, I was like, damn, are you trying to steal Moreno's, like, his spotlight right here while he just won the belt? Like, are you trying to do that? And then it made me realize, nah, man, he's just saying, like, we just shared a moment in there. Congrats to you. You're the new champion and whatnot. But, like, he's content in himself. And he's probably going to be moving up, man. I don't think he's got a future at 125 after seeing just, it's like rough weight cut time after time after time after time. And he made this weight this week with like 40 seconds to spare, or else he would have missed weight for the fight. And it would have been like it just wouldn't have been for a title, right? He wouldn't have, like, do you relinquish your title if you miss weight and you're the champion?
I don't
I
I don't
don't
know, because there was a weird one with was it Bobby Knuckles and Yoel Romero, or one of the, I can't remember the exact fighter, where if one fighter, no, it was
Romero,
it was
right?
Figueiredo.
Yeah.
And where if one fighter, if Joseph Benavidez won,
Yeah.
he wasn't able to actually win the belt or
Yeah.
something
It
like
was, no,
that. So it's weird. It's weird.
I think it was Figueiredo missed weight for that fight, so he wouldn't have been able to win. That was the first Benavidez fight, and then he
Yeah.
won the next, the rematch. He just starts him. Yeah, man. Either way. The point is, I don't think he has a future at 125. Just after seeing how rough these weight cuts are time and time again, and how it probably is affecting his performance legitimately, man. You're probably just gonna have to move up to 135 and see what you could do there. But nonetheless, humble in victory. That was the point that I'm trying to make here, man. I just love to see that. That's a real champ's champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is somebody who is a champion outside of the belt. You were champion in life because you're willing to take your loss like a man, and that's what we need, because we're going to talk about the main event in a second. Didn't really handle it that way. With that being said, man, baby assassin, dude, this dude, we talked about the narrative, we already talked about the story. Let's talk about the X's and O's. That jab was picking Figueiredo apart, bro. Like, Moreno just looked like he was just fast as lightning, and Figueiredo looked slow, and he looked like he couldn't get off. But I honestly think he couldn't get off because that jab of Moreno was too quick. It's one of these things. Tell me if you agree with this assessment, AJ. I think that a good strategy to have against these big power dudes who are going to walk forward and try to walk you down the whole time and throw bombs on you is you get in their face, you pop that jab in them, and you disrupt. Every time they throw, pop the jab. Every time you try to throw something, you're eating something on my chin. And what happens? Brandon Moreno even dropped Figueiredo with the jab, right? When Figueiredo trying to throw a big hook, he just got popped, right? And it's what happens, man. It's that timing beats the speed. I guess this was actually speed. Speed kills. I guess I should just say that. That was I fucked up on the first one, but speed kills. Give me your assessment on the X's and O's, man, because I did not see this fight going to a finish. If anything, I thought a knockout might be able to happen, but a submission on Figueiredo, who's a submission guy who's never been finished, crazy. Give me your take, AJ.
Crazy, man. No, and you were correct. I had Brandon Moreno as not only the faster fighter, but the more focused fighter.
Yeah.
He was in there, man. It was literally kind of almost like Figueiredo said, man, it was his time. He was in there, he was fighting, he was focused, he was determined. It was a very impressive win. And I'm excited for what the future has to hold, and we'll get into that in a little bit, man. But man, Moreno looked tough. Not only that, he was in there, he, like I said, very, very focused and like a caged animal, man. He was in there for the brawl no matter what happened. And that jab, I want to go back to what you were talking about. That jab, throwing off that rhythm that Figueiredo has. Once a fighter like Figueiredo can get in his rhythm, start landing those big looping power shots coming across, you're in for a little bit of trouble. But the best way to definitely disrupt it is to step in, nice little jabs, and every time your opponent steps in, you just crack him with a nice little jab. He's going to stop wanting to step in, start fighting off his back foot. And we saw it, like you said, with Moreno landing a step-in power jab, dropping Figueiredo. Like, in your own mind, if you're not used to getting dropped or you're not used to getting submitted, you're the big, like the persona that we've been talking about, the big brawler, the big bad guy. You get dropped with a jab, it's almost more embarrassing. Like, no, this dude didn't even hit me with a power shot. He just stiffed me one time and I dropped. Like, that mindset had to mess with him a little bit. And I think that's kind of more the big takeaway, is disrupting that rhythm, getting in his mind, and just basically living rent-free there and doing what he did, because he choked him out with a rear naked choke. You know what I'm saying? We saw him trying to go for 2 for 1, putting two hands on one. don't understand the reference, but it's still impressive the fact that he was able to get that win, because rear naked chokes are almost, some say it's the easiest to defend. Some say it's like the one you get in where you just kind of give up. I don't think there was any give up from Figueiredo. I think it was a genuine, he was trying really, really hard. So more credit to Brandon Moreno. A very impressive win regardless.
Well, something that I got to take from you, my man. You always got a choice: tap, nap, or it snaps. And he could have took a nap, but instead he tapped, man. And like I said, I love that Paul Craig quote, man. But I will say this, man. Moreno did make a mention that in the post-fight conference, he said, yeah, when we did the ceremonial weigh-ins and the weigh-ins and stuff, I won there. When he pushed me, when he shoved me, he's like, I knew I won right there. I knew I was already in his head, because he was trying to be the big bad guy. You know what I mean? He was wearing his shades. He wouldn't look me in the eyes, like all that stuff. He was like, I already knew. And it's just crazy because Moreno was so humble and so like, yeah, man, I want to be humble. I want to be nice to people, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, man, you need that in a champ, man. And people, I just wonder how they're going to market him now, because at some point, let's say Moreno, we're just going to dive into the future really quickly. Moreno, he's a champ. He defends a bunch of times, right? At a certain point, they're going to make him turn heel. You know what I mean? Like, you have to in order to sell fights, right? So I wonder how comfortable he would be in embracing the persona like that, because that was Figueiredo. He was the boogeyman. He was the dude who walks you down and God of War punches your face in. Nobody could touch him, you know? I do think, yeah, we'll talk all that, what lies in the future in just 1 second. Now, great win. Do you got anything else on this before we move on to the main event?
No, the only other thing that I actually really liked what Figueiredo said was the consequence about him. The belt is just a consequence. And I definitely agree with that sentiment 100%, that a reward technically isn't a reward. It's a consequence of your action, whether it's good or bad. And man, the consequences led Brandon Moreno to a nice tap out victory. So it was cool. It was a good watch.
Absolutely. And that goes to show that you don't need that piece of hardware to be a champion in life. You know what I'm saying? That's the material. But with that being said, before we